My name is Ryan. My friend Kyle and I have taken our barroom conversations to the internet in the form of Michigan's most up-and-coming sports talk podcast. From baseball to Bigfoot, we cover it all. You're in for a treat because you have found the Turbo and 2K show. What is up, 2K crew? I am Turbo as always, and we have a little bit of a different setup today. My gracious co-host decided to take off and go on a family vacation in fucking Florida and leave us here in the snow and cold. So, Kyle, I hope that you're knee-deep in Mai Tais and having a great time because it's fucking cold up here. But in his spot, I do have the next best thing, Mr. Christian Hutson. What's going on, brother?
In my opinion, I'm the better thing. But...
I didn't say more, less handsome. All right, so I do want to apologize out the gate. I am extremely congested, so that's probably why I sound like garbage. But like we've always said, Turbo and 2Ks, we play hurt, so we're bringing it to you anyways. Yep. So before we jump into any and everything, I just wanted to give a quick recap of the brackets. And what do you know? Yours truly is winning. But I'm not liking my chances because I had UNC winning it all, and of course they're not there anymore. But Mr. Troy Kaler's in second. My other team is tied with him, and my buddy Josh Enos is pulling up fourth. However, I think his is going to fade because he had Michigan winning. And Christian, where are you at on this?
I don't think I'm not on yours.
Yeah, because you're a loser.
Yeah. I didn't get the invite. Must got lost in the mail.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Only the cool kids applied to that one.
Jeez.
So speaking of NCAA basketball, we are getting down to the nitty gritty. We've got the Kentucky-Auburn game on while we're doing this, but we've had I wouldn't say a crazy weekend, but some crazy shit did happen. And we wanted to rewind because probably one of the biggest games that's happened so far was the Duke game last Sunday.
Absolutely.
And
what a game.
Unfortunately, we recorded it before it happened, but we thought it needed its due dessert because UCF played a hell of a game. Mm-hmm. They deserved to win that game. And it just came down to a couple possessions, a couple missed rebounds and shots, and somehow Coach K keeps doing it with his old assistant coaches where besides Mike Bray, I don't think an assistant coach has a win against him. So it's one of those things where, like your dad always said, or you tell your dad, you taught me everything you know, but not everything I know type thing. So kudos to them, man. I'm pretty sure that ball touched every part of the rim.
And how's that not fall?
Yeah, that is... Gravity was just was not their friend at all. And then the tip going back in, but I think if Taco wouldn't have gotten in as much foul trouble,
they get that rebound.
Yeah, especially the rebound off the missed free throw. Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, but you go back a couple plays earlier, they get that 2-on-1 fast break. They throw a lob.
Yeah.
And Dawkins missed it. The one shot he missed all night.
Yeah, if they would have, of course, hindsight's always 20/20. Yeah. And I'm sure if I was in that spot, my emotions probably would have taken over me and done the same thing. Yeah. But the smart move would have been pull it back, set your offense up. If nothing else, eat some time, and then possibly get a bucket. But at least you're wasting that time. You're setting up your offense. You're going to do something productive instead of making a highlight reel, putting the nail in the coffin type deal. But like I said, I probably would have done the same thing. You're up against Duke, the top recruit, everyone's Zion this, Zion that. So if you get the chance to do that, I probably would have done the same thing.
You hear all this talk, Zion, RJ Barrett, Cam Reddish, granted, they're good players, but that Dawkins kid, kid is a Purdue dog. Yeah, the coach's kid.
Yeah, he might, if in my opinion so far, Ja Morant was the most awesome player so far. But Dawkins, I think, has taken that and ran with it.
Yeah, Dude, I mean, he flat out kept UCF in the game. I mean, yeah, Taco Fall, he was able to alter shots, but, his impact, that Dawkins kid, man. And he transferred to UCF from Michigan. So, I mean, I can imagine him on Michigan's team, and that's a spot that they kind of need.
Yeah, and that's a good transition.
Yes.
Going into the Texas Tech game, Michigan's offense just wasn't there.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was their legs weren't underneath them, they were tired, or kudos, give props to Texas Tech's defense.
Yeah.
Those were two teams all year long that have played amazing defense, and Michigan has done this throughout the whole year.
They had good looks, but 1 for 19 from the 3-point line. That's not going to win a whole lot of ball games, especially when you're reliant on the 3-pointer, like a lot of teams are now, especially Michigan.
Yeah,
but they had good looks. Nothing was falling. Absolutely nothing was falling.
I'll be the first to admit I changed that game. Normally I don't do that. When I have my mind set on a game, no matter if it's a blowout, close game, whatever, I watch it to the end. And granted, I'm not a fan of either team. The only thing I was rooting for was Texas Tech to win because I picked them in my bracket, and a side bet with Mr. Rich Thornburg where I hope you bring your wallet because whenever we drink, I'm going to be thirsty. So just a heads up for that. But yeah, it was Texas Tech just took Michigan out of the game from the tip. And I was like, there has to be something cooler to watch than this.
They're just physical. Defensively, they're so physical.
Yes.
That's what's kept them in the tournament.
Yeah. Yeah, and, they go down. Speaking mostly on Thursday here, Gonzaga beats a very talented Florida State team. Virginia does their Virginia thing and holds a team under 50 and beats Oregon. So everything's kind of, going ho-hum for them.
Yeah, they're bounced back from last year.
Yeah.
Absolutely had to.
And then we fast forward to Friday, and of course the big headliners, North Carolina going down.
Yeah.
However, this Auburn team is on a fucking mission.
Yeah.
They shoot the ball collectively as a team, 3-point wise, probably better than most teams I've ever seen. So Bruce Pearl has coached some boys up. He is kicking some ass, and I've always been a big Bruce Pearl fan. I know he had his stuff happen in Tennessee, but like Kyle and I were talking probably a few episodes ago that the only other memory of Tennessee basketball, aside from Coach Summit, of course, that's legendary, but the men's side is because Bruce Pearl made them there and took them there. So
he is, to me, if you can label him as underrated, just like I think Beeline is too. Maybe I'm a little biased, but Mike Bray also fits that mold of being underrated as well. But I think all three of those guys. Does Bruce Pearl have a championship? Did he win?
I don't think he won one in Tennessee. No.
So I think to have, to label them underrated, I think the only way you can do that is by championships. But is he a top tier coach? Absolutely. Just like Beeline, he is one of the best coaches in the nation, but he doesn't have, a championship. So he's going to be. To me, that's that's kind of labeling him as underrated if you can.
Yeah, and in my opinion, you've got the top tier. Your Coach K's, Roy Williams.
The Cal.
guy, Coach Cal. They've been there forever, been doing their thing, and then let's say they're a one, a close 1B would be like Coach Bray, Beeline, Pearl.
I'll throw in Matt Painter at Purdue.
Oh, he's doing a hell of a job. Hell of a job.
Yeah, Matt Painter. Every year he just has a solid ball team. Every year in, year out. He's got Tyler Eifert's brother.
Yeah.
Is it Brady or Grady? The kid can play.
Yeah.
Kids like that, and he develops. That I think that's what Michigan, Notre Dame, Painter, they do with players. They're not getting the huge 5-star recruits.
No.
And they get 4-year guys, a lot of 4-year guys, and they develop. That's one thing that's great, and I love seeing it.
Yeah, I love seeing it. And then you got the tweener would probably be Coach Izzo.
Yeah, he gets both.
He gets,
both.
An occasional one and done.
Yeah.
But 90% of the kids he gets are 3 and 4 year kids. So he's, and I know there's a lot of Michigan State fans while we're leading up to this. Oh my God, Turb, you forgot fucking Coach Izzo. No, we didn't. Calm down. Calm down.
Yeah, no, he's a legitimate coach.
Yeah. Yeah, and that kind of leads us to the next game would be, man, the last two games Michigan State's come out with a fucking vengeance.
What about how Izzo just laid into I can't even think of the kid's name. But he's getting so much backlash for it. Grow up.
Yeah.
Man up.
Look at what happened.
Yeah.
The kid plays out of his fucking mind.
You know, and like he said, it is the absolute worst time of the year to be slacking off on the defensive end.
Yeah, for a freshman to be making freshman mistakes on the biggest stage at the very end of the year, because let's be honest, you're not a freshman anymore.
Yeah, the kid ate it. I mean, he bought in, and I liked what he said after the game. He goes, "Oh, I've had worse from him. I've had worse from him." So all the the PC, he's got to tone it back. There's no. This is March Madness, man. You're playing for a championship.
This is what you came to school for.
Yep.
I mean,
you knew what you're getting with Izzo as a coach.
Yeah, but I think what might have caught most people off guard with that, I'm in total agreement with you. Just suck it up.
Yeah.
Is that you don't see that a lot from Coach Izzo, and especially, I mean, Roy Williams will take his jacket off and throw the damn thing and rip it in half, where Coach Izzo gets the red face going, but he's not the. I would expect that more from D'Antonio grabbing someone's face mask and doing that rather than Coach Izzo. But yeah, come on. You've worked all year to get here. Some of those kids have worked, 3 and 4 years. It's time to man up.
And I mean, like being a coach, kids respond to certain things different. Okay? So look what that kid went back out and did after.
Oh yeah.
After Izzo just chewed his ass.
Yep. Well, he performed.
He performed the way he should be,
and to me that's a sign of a good coach, because, like you said, some players like the in your face, get your ass going, get your dick out of the dirt, and then there's the complete other side where you need to be a little bit more gentle. Yeah. And I'm not saying coddling, but just the way you talk to them. Yeah. And you wouldn't coddle someone that needs that up in your face, because you're just going to be talking to a fucking wall.
I want to say, a couple of years ago, they had that kid from Muskegon, that Deontay Davis. He was a one and done, but he shouldn't. He should have been, 2 or 3 year guy at least. And he ends up going. He's in the G League now, or D League, whatever you want to call it. But I want to say that his problem, one of the reasons he left was Izzo being on him. Mm-hmm. That's just how he is. When you're recruiting kid. Okay, the kids also kind of got to recruit the school to feel, this. Yeah. Okay, feel out how the coach. Am I going to respond well? So, what's your thought process when, you see Izzo doing, so that kid picked his own destiny. So now he's in the D League.
Yeah, and I mean, you could even go further back. When Bobby Knight was a coach.
Oh, jeez.
If your son is being recruited by Indiana back then, Bob Knight walks into your house. You know exactly what the fuck you're going to get.
Yep.
You're not going to get a rah-rah, come give me a hug type coach. He's going to be the in-your-face throwing shit, allegedly choking people. Yeah. I mean,
I love listening to that guy. Just, when he, talks basketball, just listening to his knowledge for the game is unreal. Yeah.
He's a genius. And
he'll tell you how it is.
Even if he was in this day and age coach, he would have never gotten a job.
No.
But he probably is one of the best college coaches of all time. Mm-hmm. And getting back to him sitting in your living room recruiting your son, if you don't agree with the way he does that, or if your son doesn't respond to that, it might not be the best program, because he's going to be in hell for 4 years. So you're right. You would think that the player and the parent as well to kind of feel this out, and see if it's a good fit, because obviously for that kid it wasn't a good fit.
Yeah.
And the freshman that he got into a couple days ago, obviously is a really good fit, because the kid balled out.
Yep.
Just balled out.
I like what they're getting. Winston's been fantastic. Yeah. But I can't. What game was it where, he kind of, it was Big Ten tournament, and they put that Foster Lawyer in, the freshman from Clarkston, And he was the best high school player I've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
Yep, I've ever seen. I mean, the kid's so damn smooth, and I think he's averaging like 3 points on the year. He just came in and completely took over. Took over. That's it's a testament to Izzo how he prepares those kids when that moment comes.
Well, that and to sell the program to someone that talented that probably could be starting for anyone.
Yeah, I think the kid was I'm pretty sure he was a 5-star out of high school.
Yeah,
4-star maybe, but he comes in and he's riding the pine all season, but you got to think about practices. He's going against Winston every single day.
Yep,
that kid's a dog.
Yeah, he's probably one of the most underrated players.
Yeah,
I mean he does everything the right way.
Just like a couple years ago when they had Denzel Valentine.
Yeah, man, that kid could shoot the lights out.
I mean, his game hasn't transferred to the pros, a whole lot, but he's a solid player. But he was he 3 or 4 year guy?
I would say he was 3.
Yeah, but I mean, the kid stuck it out and just everything, just controlled the game.
Yeah,
absolutely control the game, and I think you get that a lot more with 3 year guys. They know the tempo.
Oh yeah,
like John Morant, he's a 2 year guy, and it seems like his basketball IQ is head and shoulders above everybody
on a whole other level.
Yeah,
I mean, I would put him up there with Winston. Mm-hmm. They're obviously very different players, but their IQ seems to be on par with each other. They know when to push it, when to bring it back, and to me, it just we keep going back on this. It shows what a good coach can do with a program. Granted, some coaches win with all one and dones.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the way they do it. Both have their perks, I'm sure, but on the other hand too, both have their struggles and their work to put in. And if it were me, I would be more towards, like the Mike Bray, Izzo, that program, that family mentality where it would be easier because once you have that structure in place, it seems like it would be easier to recruit.
Yep.
Granted, you're going to watch tape, you're going to watch, YouTube, and every recruit's going to jump out of the gym and is going to shoot for days.
Yep.
But it's the more character,
yep.
That's it's what's going to be the best fit.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a program like that, it would seem to me it would be an easier job to recruit. You wouldn't be wasting your time with this guy. All right, yeah. Every team wants Zion. Do you think that Coach Izzo and Mike Bray and them went and visited him? Probably not. Probably not.
I bet Izzo did. Mike Bray? Probably not.
No.
Probably not. But I think he's the number 1 point guard in America right now. Cole Anthony, senior. He's uncommitted.
Mm-hmm.
And Notre Dame's in his final 3.
Really?
Now, if he'll go there, I don't know because, I love Notre Dame, but they never get the top dogs for basketball.
No.
For basketball. And
they have a lot of white kids that can shoot.
Yes,
usually.
they do. They can straight out fog. And they usually get, a big guy that they don't.
Usually with red hair.
Yeah. Jack Cooley and Luke Herringody. They could have been brothers.
Yes. I mean, and obviously you got to take Bonzi out of that.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean.
That guy was just, he's 6'5", but played like he's 7 foot.
Yeah.
His arm span was like, I think it was like 7'1", something like that. Just, he was, and that's, when he went down that year, they were a top 10 team going into the season. Then he goes down with that broken foot.
Yep.
And, if they have him, they're a top 10. They didn't make the tournament that year.
No. But yeah, you're 100% right.
Yeah. So they have Matt Farrell and.
Oh, yeah. The wily Matt Farrell. Got to get back to Friday. Like I said, UNC goes down. Michigan State just crushes LSU. And then kind of ho-hum. Kentucky just outlasts Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Doing their Kentucky thing. Duke survives again. And I was watching that game up at Drop Anchor with my buddy Justin. And when they threw that inbound, I was like, oh, it's money.
Yep.
And the kid kind of just does like a hot potato.
Mm-hmm.
But live it looked like it just missed. When you watch the replay, it hit the backboard, didn't even hit the rim, so it wasn't even that close. But another if things would have bounced the other way, Duke would be out again.
Yeah. The thing with Duke is they're getting everybody's best.
Oh,
they have all year because everybody wants to knock them off.
Yeah.
They're the ESPN poster child.
Well, that when they were playing, they played Virginia Tech Friday, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Vatek beat them.
Yeah, Vatek's legit.
However, without Zion,
Mm-hmm.
so for them, of course, you got to pump yourself up. We're playing against Duke.
Yep.
This is the biggest game of the year. We lose, we're going home. But on the other hand, too, if I was them, I want to make sure that everyone knows that we're legit
Mm-hmm.
and we beat them because we're better than them, not because they didn't have Zion. So, yeah, that kind of, man, and I'm Duke's one of those. It's kind of a love-hate thing with me right now. I want them to lose just so we can stop talking about them, but I want them to win because they're a very special team with a lot of special talents. Mm-hmm. And ultimately, and I'll be the first to admit it, there's more eyes on college basketball when Duke is good.
Yep.
For both the fans and the haters, so it's one of those things like, they're right up there with the Yankees, Notre Dame football. It's either love them or you hate them. There's not a whole lot of people that are in between there.
Nope.
And then last night, man, we had a great game, Virginia Purdue. That was one hell of a game. Yeah. Went into overtime. Virginia just kind of does their thing and outlasts them. But man, that kid for Purdue is
Carson Edwards.
God, damn.
See, I looked at he was, he obviously hit 10 threes, 42 points. But here's the thing: he's a point guard. He didn't have an assist.
Oh wow,
He did not have an assist.
And
so where do you draw the line though? The kid dumps 42.
Yeah.
Keeps him in, so I don't think that
James Harden does that all the time.
Oh, yeah. I think I just got a foul called on me for even thinking about his name.
But no, you're very right, and I thought I saw a stat that this was a sixth NCAA game over 25 points, which puts him with Steph Curry and some other guy for I want to say maybe Glenn Rice, maybe, but they're tied for the most consecutive games over 25 points. So if Winston doesn't get the Big Ten Player of the Year,
he's right there. Yeah, he's right there.
I mean, to me, it would be a very easy decision, and it's
there's some solid players. Minnesota had that Murphy kid that I think could have been in contention for Big Ten Player of the Year too. That Brazdeikis for Michigan, he was tough. I don't know if he's going to stay.
Yeah, that's one of the weirdest things is does Beeline he seems to be the only ones that gets these foreign born players or the ones that have really fucked up names. Yeah. I mean, is he using an outlet that most other coaches don't know about?
Isn't Brazdeikis Canadian?
I have no idea. His name is not.
Yeah,
it's very kind of Polish, if you ask me.
Something.
Yeah.
Latvian.
Yeah, and but yeah, no, that's, and Kyle and I have pretty much this whole podcast. Every time we talk about the Big Ten, I mean, it's a dogfight every game.
It was, you guys touched on it before, but that's a gauntlet. That season is a gauntlet. You're telling me that IU and Romeo Langford aren't a top 68 team,
right,
in the country to get into the tournament? They definitely are, but their record didn't justify how good that team was because of how loaded the Big Ten is.
Yeah, and even before this weekend, you look at how many Big Ten teams are still alive.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, they had 8 go into the field, and I think all but one made it to the next round. So
yeah,
top to bottom, like I said, Kyle and I have went over this many times. Top to bottom, they're the most balanced, the best. Like I said, from top to bottom, probably the best conference in the country. I mean, you have your ACC that's very top heavy.
Yeah, top heavy. SEC top heavy.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
And yeah, now brings us to today, and Auburn is down by 5. It's at halftime. So I think I'm kind of basketballed out. What about you?
Yeah, springtime, man.
Yes, let's get into it. It's baseball talk. It's baseball time. And if I had the to play, I would have, But so yeah,
Budget's a little thin.
Yeah, I ordered it from Amazon. It'll be here next week. But yeah, unless you live under a rock, Major League Baseball season officially started on Thursday, and there were those 2 games in Japan. Mm-hmm. Which is fine. Yeah. They did a very cool thing for Ichiro. Yes. That was awesome.
Yes, well deserved.
He deserved every moment of that. So, and then you fast forward to Thursday, and oh my god, it was either feast or famine. Mm-hmm. Either they scored a shit ton of runs or 0.
Yep.
And they out of the games that just happened on Thursday, there were 46 home runs. Ties a record for the most opening day home runs. I want to say it went back to 98 or 99. So, what was going on back then? Yeah. And the Dodgers in particular, man, I don't think I've ever seen a team hit 8 home runs combined. I mean, oh my god. So, and
when you got Kershaw on the bump too, and you hit 8 home runs, things are probably going to be pretty solid that day.
But it seems like ever since Zach Greinke left the Dodgers have beaten the shit out of him every time, every chance that they get. And kind of scratching the surface here with the Dodgers is that they hired JD Martinez as hitting coach, and he's kind of brought that launch angle and all the things that he taught JD, which obviously has worked dividends. I mean, saved his career. He went from a 230 hitter to, a fucking machine.
Yeah. I'm anxious to see what. I'm a White Sox fan.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, but they just hired a hitting coach named Coach Lyle. I've had the pleasure of meeting him a few times. He wasn't, he's been a softball hitting coach, like a high school training coach, and then I think last year he was with. Remember who it was. Might have been Ole Miss as their hitting coach, and they bring him in, which great for him. He's a really nice guy, very humble. They got talent.
Oh God, yes.
They got that.
It's very very young and raw for sure.
They got that Eloy Jimenez. That early comparisons. I mean, it's too early to tell, but they said Miguel Cabrera, the way he uses the whole field. Okay, that's going out on a huge limb, but if you're drawing comparisons to Miguel Cabrera, you're doing something right.
Yeah,
you are doing something right.
Yeah, in any regard with that, and I mean, who was it? Hell, he was on the Tigers, got traded to the White Sox. He was the mini Miggy. Played right field.
Avi Garcia.
There we go. Yes.
Avi Garcia.
They even look similar.
Yes, they did. He's the reason why Prince Fielder got traded, though.
Yeah. Well, shit happens.
Him and Prince's wife.
Yeah. But it's got to be, if even though I pick on you constantly about being a White Sox fan, and you're a diehard. You're not, of course. I really don't think there's a lot of bandwagon White Sox fans anymore.
No. Even in 2005 when we win the series, we didn't sell out for the World Series.
So, I mean, but it kind of sucks you're not where you want to be, but I have a feeling that if we're having this conversation in 5 years, you're going to be pumped as shit.
I hope so. I mean, we get rid of, he's the best lefty in the AL, and get all these prospects. Well, that's exactly what they are, is prospects.
Yes.
Okay, so you are going out on a huge limb to get rid of a franchise player who had a very contract-friendly, or team-friendly contract
until
recently. Yeah. But I mean, so you get rid of him, you get rid of Adam Eaton, guys like that who are
Adam Eaton to me, and correct me if I'm wrong because I don't watch a whole lot of White Sox games. He seemed to be like the heart and soul.
Yeah,
he's the leader.
He's a little fiery little guy.
Yes.
Lefty. I think he's about 5'7", but has an absolute hose from the outfield.
Yeah,
and can cover a lot of ground. That was it. I love Nationals picking him up. Getting that. But then he went down with an ACL injury. Yeah, he was out for the year. That hurt. That hurt him big time.
It was a shame to see him go down because he was one of my more favorite people to watch.
Yep, he's tough.
By the way, Auburn's taking this game over real quick. But and kind of going with the whole baseball thing. The big new faces and new places, man. It was not a good day.
Yeah.
Not a good day. Bryce goes over.
Gets booed.
Yeah.
It's Philly.
Yeah.
It's Philly.
Yeah. I mean,
it's Philly.
If you go back to last year, Stanton strikes out 5 times in his Yankee debut.
Yep.
They start booing him the second time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure things worked out for Stanton in New York last year. So, Philly fans, calm down. Yes, it's a shit ton of money.
I don't think they meant, really pissed off. They're doing it because it's Philly.
Yeah.
Because that's what they do.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't they the ones that threw snowballs at Santa?
Yeah.
So, and even the dudes that signed the big extensions, man, they're aside from DeGrom, who spun yet another, I want to say it's his 30 straight game holding the opponents under 2 runs.
Yeah.
And the bright side of it is he actually got some run support and won a game. Yeah. Granted, 2 runs. 2 runs. But, even Robbie Cano hit one out. So, I mean, again, if you're a Mets fan, you got to like where you're at. However, the thing that always gets me with the Mets is there's always the big name that gets hurt.
Yeah.
Always. Yeah. When they made that postseason run, it was Cespedes that got hurt.
Yeah.
And so
he's kind of fallen off since that injury.
Yeah.
He's still a good, solid player, but he's not putting up the numbers that he was prior to that.
Yeah, when he was with the Tigers, even before that. So, I mean,
absolute missile from the outfield too.
Yes.
It's like Vladimir Guerrero arm.
Yeah. And I mean, hell, Verlander had a great first outing. Thought I saw he did either 6 or 7 innings, 1 run.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the complete opposite side of things, Chris Sale gets hosed.
Yeah.
And shelled. I mean, that opening day, it's almost like you could tell the Mariners had a couple games under the belt. And I know I'm going to catch hell for this, but there were so many people pissed off that the Red Sox didn't open at home. Defending world champions, send us out on the fucking West Coast.
See, here's my thought. I think any team that play in a cool climate should be south or west. They should have that opening series out.
Or in a dome somewhere.
Yeah, early season, you should play those teams that are, out there. So you don't have to deal with the bullcrap weather.
Yeah, I mean
because winter ain't over.
No.
It's not over.
Especially in Michigan and the Northeast.
We're going to get hit with snow in August.
It's snowing right now.
Yeah.
And, that's... And I'm kind of the same approach as you. That and get the West Coast thing out of the way first.
Yep.
You know what? Yep. You're not going to lose the season on the first road trip.
Nope.
If that's in August and you sputter and you lose out there, that could be a whole lot more than because right now, let's be honest, there's still spring training.
Yeah. Well, spring training. Okay, good point. They're playing in warm weather.
Yeah.
You throw these guys out and 30 degrees.
Stuff doesn't work the same way.
It's there's probably is a stat. There's a stat for everything.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if there's a stat, say, the higher injury rate for guys that play in the cooler weather in the beginning of the season.
I would be curious to see that too.
Especially down the stretch.
And then getting back to that too, it's always been, I guess it's kind of common knowledge, is that you can always bank on the Latin players or players from down south that they really don't start to hit their groove until the weather warms up.
Yep.
I mean that.
Yeah, that's.
And you and I have both played when it's this cold.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah.
It's,
I played in Ohio. We're on our way back from spring training. We're coming back up. Stopped in Ohio. Had, I think, a series. And they had a turf field. So the field was perfect. It was great. It was all turf. But it was also 15 freaking degrees out. Snowing. They had space heaters in their dugout, not our dugout.
of course.
Yep. So they were nice and cozy over there while we're getting the draft and freaking awful. Absolutely awful. You know, you hit a ball square and it goes 10 feet.
Yeah, and it rings your hands for the next 3 hours.
Yep.
It's like, you know what? Can we just not?
Yeah.
Not. I mean, yeah, and I love baseball, don't get me wrong. I love sports, but I'm not the fanatic where, like, I'm a Bears fan. I've never been to Soldier Field. Why? Because I don't want to pay money and sit and freeze my ass off.
Yes.
I mean, granted, there's usually because, you know, around here you're either Bears or Lions fan. And, of course, they play at each other's house every year. And, no, if it's at Soldier Field at the beginning of the year,
You'll go.
yeah. But it towards the end, fuck you. Nope.
Well, I mean, in my opinion, I think all outdoor sports, especially major league level, every stadium should have a retractable roof.
Yeah, Justin and I went to Miller Park a couple years ago.
Beautiful park.
Oh my God, yes.
Yes, it's amazing.
We it was so hot that they thought it'd be a good idea to close the roof. Close the roof, pop the AC on. Sounds like a great idea until you actually realize how big this thing is.
Yeah.
And it was so cool to see how that.
Yeah, just goes.
I mean, it took like 10 minutes to open. And then 10 minutes to. They ended up reopening it because they were like, oh shit, there's all these people in here. It's not going to get cool in here for like the next 3 hours. But yeah, but you're right. Some of those, I've seen the Rogers Center up in Toronto. I've seen that one do it. And you would think, I mean, granted, there are your historic stadiums. Yeah. You know, Wrigley, you know, Fenway, Dodger Stadium. But if you're looking to build a new one,
I think you have to put a retractable roof.
I mean, to me, it seems like a no-brainer these days. You know, and I'm actually shocked that there aren't more retractable dome football stadiums.
Right. It's the same deal.
Yeah. I mean, you got Jerry Jones where opens a roof so God can watch his team.
And here's another thing. Not a whole lot of people want to watch games where, you know, it's snowing out and they're running the ball.
Yeah, unless you're...
Every play because, you know, they can't throw it. They can't throw it in that weather and they can't, you know, the wind and everything like that.
Yeah, the wind coming right off Lake Michigan, fuck you. No, no.
No, not fun at all.
No, I mean, I'm pretty sure the only ones that really, really do get into that are Bears fans and Packers fans. Yeah. Because even Minnesota has a dome now. Yeah. So well, they had one before, but no, I'm right there with you, and yeah, so I can get the feeling of, you know, all the Red Sox are being disrespected. They should have opened at home. No. I think there's more to it than this. I mean, yeah, I don't. If I was that, I'd want to play Miami. I want to start season off with the Marlins, you know, or
San Fran,
Arizona. Yeah. I mean, fuck. Yeah. But so yeah, that I did have a couple people shoot me a message wanted me to talk on that. So there's that. I think you guys are putting way too much thought into it. Calm down. Yeah. It's the first season of the series, first series of the season. So calm down. But speaking of overreactions, I thought it'd be fun to play a little game. Okay. Because everyone starts the season out 0-0. They're all tied for first place. I even made a joke that the Tigers were leading the AL Central. They were 1-0.
I'm already looking forward to next year on the South side.
But I just thought that, and these I did not come up with these. These are things that I actually saw people write. Whether they're friends of mine on Facebook or people shared their Twitter stuff with me. So I did not come up with these. This is shit that people are actually writing. So let's take a big step back. Here at Turbo and 2Ks, we try to be not unbiased, but like pump the brakes a little bit. So the first one I saw, which after our Philadelphia talk, it could happen that Bryce Harper will continue to get booed in Philly. That could go on for the next 13 years. That could, but then again, that might be like their hey, hello, welcome to town.
Yeah, I think that's more so what it is. Yeah. This is us. This is what we do.
Yeah,
you played for our rival.
Yeah,
I mean, they probably love having you on the ball club now. But Philly fans, you're not going to win them over, easy.
No.
You got to perform.
I mean, again, take a step back. At least you're not in the bullpen and they're throwing batteries at you.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And then you have to remember this is the fan base that threw snowballs at Santa. Yeah. I mean, come
Speaking of snowballs, I went to a Notre Dame football game one time with my cousin Nick Palmer. Shout out. I know he's a listener.
Fan favorite.
Yeah, it was. I think it was Jimmy Clausen's freshman year, and they weren't very good.
Oh,
I think they had Charlie Weiss.
Oh yeah, all right, Cheeseburger Charlie.
Yeah. Yep. The Gimper, win for the Gimper. But fans started just pelting him with snowballs at Notre Dame, and the PA announcer, guys do realize that is our coach, right? Next thing you know, about 500 more snowballs come out of the stands going at the Gimper. I'll never forget. He was canned that year.
Yeah. Well, I think it's kind of well deserved. Speaking of that, it'll probably be the only Charlie Weiss reference on the show forever, but I've got a shirt upstairs that I got from South Bend that says "Out with the Belly, in with Kelly."
Yeah, I had one. That said "Win for the Gimper." It had his outline. That was good.
So yeah, Bryce, I know. I mean, you obviously listen, so.
Nah, not really.
He does. He does. You didn't know we're like BFFs. I mean, but no.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me.
Oh no,
I don't listen at all.
No, well, obviously you don't even get in the bracket challenge.
Yeah.
But no, Bryce, it'll be fine.
Yeah,
you're gonna win him over. I mean, hell, you hit your first dinger that went 450 feet.
465. Yeah. What a shot!
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure they weren't booing him after that. So again, overreaction number one. Complete overreaction number two. And did you know that Jordan Zimmerman is going to win the AL Cy Young after one start?
The dude was dealing.
Yeah,
but so was Stroman.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they matched each other until the sixth inning.
Yeah.
I mean, so.
Yeah, and he gets hosed, man. He doesn't get a win out of that. Takes a perfect game going into the seventh.
It was perfect 6 and 2/3.
Yeah. A little chopper two hopper hit back up the middle that they don't get.
And what I really liked about that start of his, he was very economical with his pitches. Yeah. I think he went 7 innings with like 80 pitches.
Yeah.
Very. That is the way you want to start your season out.
Pounding the strike zone.
Yes. And you take that compared to what Chris Sale went through.
Yeah. I
mean, Chris Sale looked like he was trying to strike every batter out.
Yep.
And that's not him.
Do too much.
Yeah. On that slider too much. So yeah, I can't remember who posted that, but I'm gonna.
He was dealing, man.
Now, if he gives 2 or 3 starts like this, then you can kind of start the hype train. However, let's take a step back. Congratulate him for what he did. It was a great start. The Tigers' pitching hasn't pitched badly so far.
No, they've been stellar.
Their offense is garbage. Yeah. I mean, when are they going to fire Lloyd McClendon? He's the worst hitting coach, I think, maybe in the history of baseball.
They still got what's the chubby old dude? What Gene Lamont?
Oh,
is he still in there?
You know what? He might be.
I swear to God, one time at a ball game, I watched a golf cart pick him up from the third baseline or the first baseline and take him over to the third base coaching box.
I mean,
he is the worst third base coach there ever was.
When you got it, flaunt it. I guess.
Yeah.
But no, of course. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Normally, the pitchers are ahead of hitters when it comes out of spring training.
Yes, especially
a young ass team like they are too.
Especially teams, like the climate, colder weather climate. Pitchers are going to benefit from it right now.
Oh God, yes.
Okay, they're not going to be able to throw, 120 pitches right now.
No, which you're just starting out the season. I mean, if your coach is telling you to go do that, they probably shouldn't have a job. Yeah. Especially, your first 1 or 2 games, those are your horses.
Yeah.
That's your ace.
Yeah, you don't want to.
No, you don't want to ride them too hard.
No.
But so yeah, that was overreaction number 2. Overreaction number 3. I put more into this that it might actually happen than any of the 4 we're going to talk about. And that's Javi Baez leading the NL in homers. That one is plausible. I would bet money that would happen before Jordan Zimmerman wins the Cy Young.
Javi Baez has a stick. It's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, that whole line, there's just that line. As much as I hate to say it, but damn.
Yeah. And I think they're in kind of the same boat as the Red Sox, is that they're only going to go as far as their bullpen takes them.
You know, when they say Chris Bryant has a down year last year, but still, what did he put up, 40?
Yeah.
It's a down year?
Yeah. Give me that down year.
Okay. I'll tell you, down year. Adam Dunn hits 44 home runs, bats 197. Yeah. I'll take those 44 home runs.
Now, the complete opposite of that is Chris Davis.
Yeah.
Batting 170 with like 12.
Yeah.
12 homers.
Yeah, he was in his own head.
Oh god, and he has such a smooth swing.
Yeah. He's a much better hitter than oh my gosh, he was so bad.
There was a bar in Baltimore that would give shots away every time he got a hit.
Yep.
So, and when you're batting less than your weight, you think you need to reevaluate your situation.
Yep.
But I mean, he was great in the field, so I mean, it's not like he was kicking everything all over. So, I mean, hell, he's making a whole lot of money. So, I mean, you pay me that money, and I'll bet you 170, or at least try.
Yep. That's my goal. I'm shooting for is 170. I'm doing something wrong though.
Right. Especially when you were the one that.
If my goal's not to be above the Mendoza line, I probably shouldn't be playing the game anymore.
No, and you look back, he was the one that he was what, 1 home run ahead of Miguel Cabrera, and he would have won back-to-back Triple Crown. So he can do it. He's hit for average. He's hit for power. So just one of those things, man. Especially in Baltimore, everything's kind of up in the air.
Shambles.
Yeah.
I mean, every year they had Adam Jones. They had solid teams.
Oh yeah,
Machado, Jones,
Adam
Davis.
Jones is like your consummate pro.
Yeah. And
I'm so glad someone took a flyer on him. Yeah. I'd have him on my team any day.
And it's just, that the AL East is so brutal.
Yeah,
it's about like the Big Ten basketball.
Yeah, I mean, when Baltimore and Tampa are your quote unquote slouches.
Okay, yeah, Tampa was right in the playoff mix last year.
Yeah,
where the hell did these guys come from? They flat out played.
They always do that though. Yeah. Even going back to, I watched Matt Moore pitch today.
Yeah,
I remember when he came up with Tampa. Yep.
I mean, Joe Madden.
Yeah, you look at the pitching staff that if they would have kept everyone, Joe Madden would have won. He probably would have never left.
Yeah, but I mean, Joe Madden, in my opinion, is the best manager in baseball. So what scared the hell out of me was, seeing what he did in Tampa with nothing. Evan Longoria. That's about it.
Evan Longoria in a flow of raw arms.
Yes.
David Price.
Yeah. And then you put him in Chicago where...
with a bankroll.
Yes.
Then they have no problem signing checks and moving players. And I
said, oh shit.
Going to that, he's the perfect manager for that group of really young talent. You really can't even call Rizzo like a seasoned vet, but it seems like he's been there the longest. Now, granted, I think it hurt them a lot when David Ross retired, just because of his leadership. I mean,
knowledge.
Yeah, and just his overall presence.
He's going to be a coach,
and he's going to be a damn good coach.
Yeah, another one that's a lot like that. Here's my biasness coming out. AJ Pierzynski.
As much as I hated him, because AJ was like the
you
Yankees.
Love him or you hate that guy. You're such a dick.
When he's on your team, you love him.
Yeah.
When he's not on your team, you're like, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember I was at the year Scherzer won the Cy Young. He started out like 13-0 or something, and they were playing the Rangers, and I went to that game, and he got shelled.
Yeah.
And the person I was with wasn't really a big baseball fan. They're like, why is everyone booing him? Like, you really don't know baseball, do you? I was like, he's just one of those guys. When he's on your team, you love him. Which I never really knew that people hated Kevin Youkilis.
Yeah. He was just odd. He was an odd dude.
Yeah. The big beard, kind of before the beard was cool.
The weird batting stance where he has his top hand halfway up the bat, then slides it down. It's different. I mean,
seems like a lot of unnecessary movement, but yes. So I explained to them, it's like, this is kind of type of guy he is, and then he gets punched in the face, and there's the meme that says when your team sucks, just punch the other player in the face, and it's that he would be another good one. I see Jason Varitek.
Yeah,
I mean, there was talks that they were going to get Tech to coach rather than Alex Cora. Still too soon, I think. But
I was always shocked when they went away from Terry Francona.
Yeah, and
he's another one that I think him and Joe Madden to me are the two top dogs.
Oh yeah,
top dogs.
They're I wouldn't put them in like the Bruce Bochy like old school coaches yet.
Bochy's good,
but they're not the the Alex Coras, the very young kids. I mean, hell, there's some coaches now. It's like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah.
And then they put up their
Kevin Cash.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot.
Hell of a job.
There's the really old guys, which a lot of those guys aren't around anymore. I mean, I would put Gardenhire in like the older guys.
Comes when they hired Osmus. If they had Gardenhire with all that talent, I think they got a ring.
This is because
I didn't think Osmus was not ready for that team.
No, he was.
No.
Basically, you could have said the same thing in New York and Boston this year. They give you the keys to a Ferrari. Don't fuck it up.
Yep.
Well, Brad smashed that Ferrari into a tree, lit it on fire, and used the insurance money to buy Twinkies. But no, I've said this before on the podcast, and I will live and die by this. If Jim Leyland retires 1 year earlier, they get Francona because he was
available.
Yeah, but he stayed 1 more year.
Yeah.
That year cost them getting Francona, and not only do they get one of the best managers available, you keep him from Cleveland.
Yep.
Division rival. Terry Francona probably would have got them 2, if not 3 rings with that crew and their willingness to spend money to get Mr. Ilitch a ring. Hands down. At least 1, if not 3. I'm just going to go out there and say, and he'd still be the coach. And I hate to say it, but Verlander would still be there. A lot of your favorite guys that they traded away would still be there. Not your favorite. I'm saying overall favorites. But, it's, your Jim Leyland that everyone loves and in Detroit actually pulled your pants down and put it in your butt.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm right there with you with Tito. Which I didn't know until a couple years ago. We went down to a South Bend Cubs game. He was a coach down there.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
He came up through the White Sox organization.
Which
minor league.
That was very cool to see.
He had Michael Jordan. He coached in Birmingham.
Yep. And that was actually part of they had posters up of like notable people that had went on and done a lot, and he was one of them. That was one of the main things. It's like, oh, Coach Michael Jordan.
Yep.
Like, all right, well, him and Phil Jackson have something in common.
Yep. Now, that being said, White Sox a couple years ago, they bought and they had Sale. They had and they came out hot. It was them and the Cubs who had the 2 best records in the major league for a while.
Yep.
And then they just fell apart. I always felt with that talent they had, Ozzie Guillen would have been a 10 times better fit than what Robin Ventura was. I think, Ozzie said some stupid shit.
Oh, yeah.
But I love the guy.
You look at his track record, he's mouthy. Yeah. But getting back to what we talked about.
Fidel Castro.
Yeah. Getting back to what we touched on with the baseball thing, it's like he got with his players. Yep. Where I was such a fan of the Robin Ventura hire. I always loved him as a player. He'll be iconically the one that Nolan Ryan beat his ass. But no, I was always an advocate. I wanted him to do well. I wanted him to succeed. But yeah, you're right. And granted, it's a little easier to look back and
Yeah.
oh yeah. But I was saying this about the whole Jim Leland thing while it was going on. Like I called that 10 years ago. Yeah. So yeah, it was all you Tigers fans, don't get mad at me. I'm just the I see the future. I'm sorry. So, and this is actually your topic, Mr. Hutson. So I will let you introduce it, and we'll wrap the show up with this. So take it away.
All right. So late at night, I have a problem falling asleep. So I'm on YouTube, Facebook, whatever. One thing popped up. It was Elvis Andrus goes 3 for 4. Okay, not huge news. Then it says his walk-up music was the most annoying song in the world.
Yes.
That is most popular, especially with little kids. His walk-up song was Baby Shark, and he goes 3 for 4. That guy better keep that damn song. Okay. How do you pick your song? What, if it was you, what would you choose?
I was, again, when I was up at Drop Anchor Friday, I consulted with my music aficionado, walk-up song aficionado, Mr. Justin Ware. And here's my thought process, all right? I would pick songs that wouldn't get me like so jacked up because I'd lose focus.
Yep.
But once we started talking about this, I'm like, man, this could almost get in your head if you think about it too long. I was like, you know what? All right. Mine would be, well, half the songs I would pick, you'd have to pick the very specific part because they all have swear words in them.
Yep.
But I'm going to go probably any number of Ludacris songs.
Okay.
I mean, that's, and to kind of give a little bit backstory, when I do my cardio, Luda just gets me.
Luda.
Yeah. I mean, that's my jam.
Luda!
But, I mean, there's lots of guys that have multiple songs they use. They bat 4 times, they have 4 different songs.
What Josh Reddick he was in a slump and he put on what was it? It was like a jazz. I can't remember the name of the song. It was just relaxing. And the dude came out and just raked.
Yeah.
Raked. See, when I played, I had 3. My first year, I had 3. I had one that kind of kept me relaxed. One was, kind of pumped me up. Mm-hmm. It was just whatever I was feeling that day.
Yeah.
I think the one that I did best with was the one that kept me relaxed.
Yeah.
Kept me relaxed, kept me, my open mind. I had, my first year I had Super Bass, Nicki Minaj. That was a favorite, favorite.
Hey.
Okay, I had Fred Bear by Ted Nugent.
Another good one.
Yeah, and then I had Born in the USA, Bruce Springsteen.
All very classic.
Yeah, and it's a wide variety there. It's but from Nicki Minaj to Ted Nugent, it's a little different.
But now, let me ask you a question. Since you actually did this, you're on like a 4 or 5 game hitting streak. Do you use the same one?
Yes. You don't mess with it
when you're scuffling.
You don't mess with the underwear you wear.
No, same bat.
Yeah.
Same everything. Same gloves.
Yep.
Don't wash your pants. Whatever it takes, right? But now, let's say you go 0 for 10.
No, you change your shit up.
Yeah. You gotta. To me, it's like, all right, something's lacking where it needs to be picked up. So whether it's a song we plug in, eating something different, changing your routine, whatever it might be, that to me would probably be kind of the easiest one to do. Mm-hmm. All right, throw on, Fred Bear. Let's go. We
right. Yeah.
Something's got to change. Yeah. Something's got to change. Now, in talking to Mr. Ware, he brought up the fact that, and I used to be a Braves fan when they were on TBS. Mm-hmm. My cousin played in their organization, so that was kind of the big thing when we moved into Marcellus was, all right, we're finally going to get cable. Well, the thing that kind of pushed my parents over the edge was we might get to see our cousin Scott play baseball on TV, so we have to get cable. But yeah, I think my generation and older a lot of us were Braves and Cubs fans because that's
Chipper Jones.
Yeah, oh yeah, Andrew Jones, all those. The
Clavin, Maddox.
Somehow only won World Series with that crew, but
I mean that just goes baseball. You never know.
Nope. And so the Braves obviously are under new management. They've built 2 brand new stadiums like the last 20 years, which is kind of weird to me. Yeah. But I mean, it was Turner Field, but you always change the name.
Yep.
But no, they decided they wanted new digs. Whatever, it's not my money. But they have an organ player there. And Justin told me that, when the Braves are there, they have their walk up music. But the organ player, instead of just playing, he actually plays songs to troll the other players. Just to kind of give you, for instance, when he played "Go Cubs Go" for Bryce Harper. So, and this was last year, of course, not this year. But no, I didn't know this was a thing. The more I looked into it, I'm like, this is actually pretty cool. This is pretty cool, and it's one of those things where you in my opinion, you kind of know you made it when someone makes fun of you like that. So, I mean, obviously Bryce, but yeah. I didn't know the walk-up song thing was that big of a deal until, the Baby Shark. And to be 100% honest, I blame Mike or Golick and Wingo. I don't have kids. I've never been married. I heard the name of the song and never heard the song until those assholes played it. I purposely had positioned myself to be Baby Shark free, but no, it comes in the... And not only did they play it, someone remixed it for them, which it even sounds even more ridiculous. So, parents, I feel your pain. Obviously, not really, but because you have to hear that song every day, 50 times a day.
Kyle, that's the first time I ever was over at his house. What in the hell is this shit?
All right, well, we are getting to that hour mark, folks. So I just want to take a quick minute. Thank my co-host here, Mr. Christian Hutson. Kyle, you can go fuck yourself in the snow, in the sand. We're freezing. But head on over to the Facebook page, facebook.com/turbo2ks. I usually try to post something there at least once a day. Kind of get some interaction, get some feedback. If you want to get a hold of us, obviously turbo2ks@gmail.com. We do have the Patreon page, patreon.com/turbo2ks, and an update. We are on, our Twitter game is rolling. It's the Turbo and 2Ks, and our Instagram game is rolling. So look us up on there. My goal is to start posting more to Instagram. The Twitter thing, I'm not a huge Twitter guy. So maybe in the future we'll kind of expand that. Who knows? But one thing I did want to touch on before we get out of here. I had a buddy of mine text me and he goes, "Hey man, is there a way that I can listen to the podcast without it being like YouTube where I have to keep my phone on?" Mm-hmm. And I asked him, I'm like, "What the hell do you mean?" He's like, "Well, when you post the
link,
the link, I hit it and my phone has to be up." Yeah. I'm like, "All right, well, the easiest way is to go download Spotify. Download Spotify. Search Turbo and 2Ks will pop up." I walked my brother through this yesterday while he was at work. And not only that, click follow on there, and you will get a notification every time our show uploads, so you'll never miss it. And one of the coolest parts is you can actually download it. So if you are listening to it, driving or something, you're not streaming it. Yeah. So it's when you're home on the Wi-Fi, you can always download it, so you're not wasting your data or worrying about reception or whatever. So that would be he did it, and he's like, "All right, man, that works pretty awesome." So if you are clicking the link, I when I upload this, it's an automatic message that's sent to Facebook, Twitter, that it has uploaded. Mm-hmm. So if you want the best overall experience, go to Spotify. And the reason I say Spotify is you can use Apple and Android, doesn't matter. It's free. So you're not spending any money. But yeah, that way, you can do all those things I just said and not have to worry, keep your phone open like you're watching a YouTube video. So I did want to touch on that. So Kyler, thanks for the heads up on that, brother. But yeah, other than that, same old thing. We'll probably have a very tan Mr. 2Ks next week. So until then, Kyle, drink a beer for me, and don't let the kids bury in the sand too far. So with that being said, again, big thank you to Christian, holding it down. Like I said, you're lucky we're not videoing this, because obviously it'd be a huge step up, because we called him the handsome one. You know, right. We went to the bullpen, got the righty. So, all right, folks, we'll let you get out of here. And as always, Jim Rome, we're coming for you.